Whenever an experiment didn't quite meet the show's 90-minute runtime, the best brains would pad out the riffing with a short. Originally, they were all serials like the Commando Cody and Phantom Creeps shorts, but more well-known from the Best Brains short film oeuvre were the newsreels and sponsored films. Those social guidance and advertising film strips with names like Is This Love and The Selling Wizard. This was just a thing that happened in the 50s.
Since most of these film strips were in the public domain, they were easier to distribute than the feature films, and many became as famous as the features themselves. So, let's pay tribute once more to this most awesome of cult comedy television shows. We're counting down.
There's always a boring
The top 10 best MST shorts.
My shorts are never boring.
Number 10.
Thank you, Tom.
Centron was responsible for a lot of the educational film reels that showed up on MST.
A Centron production, although we got the idea from a different company, because we're cheating. Thank you.
But two of the reels left a legacy that spans multiple seasons and eras.
Speech! Woo, speech!
Speech! Speech!
The Best Brains riffed a lot of these educational shorts, but these two stand out for being instructional videos on how to give a good speech, and they're less stimulating than watching paint dry.
You must be understood.
Huh? What?
Maybe my failure to grasp the usefulness of these two shorts is just a result of being born in a different time. Even so, this is some painfully dry stuff, and it just makes the sharpness of the riffing stand out even more.
And yet, dry as they both are, they both lend themselves to very similar jokes.
Use plenty of lip and tongue action.
Yeah, that's it, baby. Shake that moneymaker!
Always try to keep...
It's kinda nice to see both Joel and Mike take a swing at this stuff. It lends itself well to a lot of jokes.
Speech, lip and tongue action! Woo!
My posture is good!
Look at my crotch!
Number 9.
Look at my crotch!
Most of the shorts are stupid and or boring. This one's hard to watch for an entirely different reason.
Joel, do they do this on Earth?
Isn't this wrong?
Yeah, guys, I'm deeply ashamed of my race right now.
Originally a reel about a man assigned to capture animals for the Chicago Zoo. I can't imagine this was good PR, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, there's nothing like exerting your power over helpless creatures, is there, Ross?
Thankfully, for anyone disturbed by the contents of this short, Joel and the bots give our friend Ross some well-deserved comeuppance in the ensuing host segment.
If you enjoyed catching trouble in any way, there's something wrong with you.
Number 8.
But first, a short.
Oh, this desk is so well constructed. Look at this hardwood finish.
And you know I like the feel of a board moving smoothly against a sharp saw.
And I thrust the nail into the soft, yielding wood.
This short starts with a look at the troubled psyche of a young man who seems to be enjoying his shop class just a little too much.
I like the smell of fresh wood chips and sawdust.
I put them in my underwear.
The bright glare of a welder.
I like to sneak in and lay on the table saw.
This sits lower on the list just because after the first few minutes, the riff kind of plateaus. But oh, those first few minutes are gut-bustingly hilarious.
And I feel real good because I'm a craftsman.
And not a killer.
Number 7.
I often stop by here for a cup of coffee.
That's really interesting.
Oh, to have grown up in the 50s. It wasn't all poodle skirts and malt shops, was it? No, the 50s also unleashed these filmic horrors onto the general public.
Don't let this happen to you.
Don't change a tire with your face.
Maybe I'm simply too far removed from this generation to understand why this happened. Was there really a time when people needed educational film strips to teach them how to take a shower or, I don't know, comb their teeth?
Bathing and toilet articles should be kept for your own personal use.
Grooming is between you and the Lord God.
Really, did anyone ever benefit from these? From the original reels. I mean, not the MST treatment. At least the MST treatment gives us some laughs.
And so, the end of a perfect day.
An entire day spent grooming.
Number 6.
But first, a short made in the 1700s.
Sometimes the strength of a short wasn't measured just by the riff itself, but by the impact it had on the show as a whole. Such is the case with our next short.
Hey, isn't that the John Belushi biography?
Perhaps inspired by the exclamation point in the title, Joel and the bots decide to put on their own musical rendition of the short.
None of my salesmen has ever sold a car.
And it is glorious. Not that the riff itself isn't funny.
I remember one of the first things that Harry drilled into me
Was Harry.
the importance of having...
This reel was presented in 2 parts, so the Best Brains extended it over 2 episodes. The second half debuted before fan favorite and classic episode Manos: The Hands of Fate. On its own, a simple, kinda boring how-to reel about car salesmen. But in the hands of the Best Brains, it is so much more.
We got commercial sign.
What's the point?
Number 5.
Served with a short.
Sure, educational reels with titles like Keeping Neat and Clean and Are You Ready for Marriage are strange and kind of insulting. But at least they're not creepy.
The Woody Allen story.
Hey, I like my family as a friend.
This is the kind of stuff that makes me glad to have been born after 1980. If you wanted proof that there was a time when people actually said, "Get back in the kitchen," well, look no further than this reel.
Is it that late? Dad'll be here any minute. Better tell Mother she's needed in the kitchen.
Where the postman eagerly awaits.
I mean, I know there are jokes about old-fashioned families discouraging their children from expressing any kind of emotion, but damn, I always thought they were just jokes, exaggerations. No family could ever really be this uptight, could it? I mean, this just doesn't seem healthy.
Pleasant, unemotional conversation helps digestion.
I can't stress unemotional enough.
I can't help but imagine the kids in this family growing up emotionally crippled, unable to express or receive affection because they've never been shown how, and, I don't know, maybe the wife becomes bitter and resentful of her husband who is so bored with his stilted home life he goes off and has an affair. Yuck. Give me the insane family who screams all the time over this any day. At least they acknowledge the existence of emotion. Ugh.
Yeah, this makes me want to heat up a Libby Land dinner and eat in front of the TV.
Now enjoy some refreshments in the lobby.
Wait a minute.
Number 4.
Why am I watching this?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Now presenting under the big top, Your Nightmares.
Here comes the devil!
Yes, the circus is fun and entertaining for the whole family. It's also a sad, sad place where dreams go to die and animals are mistreated.
It's a living!
Of the shorts, the circus ones feature some of the darkest humor.
A rogue elephant snaps its tether and kills a coolie.
Now who's getting dark?
Not to mention the bot's own circus act inspired by the short.
Wait! I've got it. Yeah? I grab you and squeeze you till you hemorrhage.
No? How about I come out dressed like a suture? You come out dressed as an appendix.
Perhaps most bizarrely of all is this short actually does feature a celebrity. Emmett Kelly, one of the world's most famous clowns. They love it when he eats.
Because there's a little bit of the clown in all of us. Good night and may God bless.
So before you start your painful movie,
Number
Space
3.
Children, I order you to watch this painful short feature.
A lot of these shorts are advertising reels, and the gimmicks that the marketing teams would come up with were bizarre and often barely related to the actual product. But most of the time it was at least clear what the product actually was. Most of the time.
How many times Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie had sex?
For a sales pitch, this one has a lot of story. See, there's this guardian angel, and he has to make sure this young man can finish a song for a choosy client so he can leave on his honeymoon. So, what is the point exactly?
One of 32 short films about this guy.
Just try to guess what this short is advertising. No, seriously, guess. From the way the song is all about modern kitchen appliances and chic bedroom decorating, you might assume this short is advertising the home of the future, like Design for Dreaming or Young Man's Fancy.
I wish the faucet wouldn't drip all day.
Aim high, sister!
And you would be wrong. This is an ad for Bell telephones.
Honey, your cocaine is all over the phone.
No, really. Telephones. Say what you will about the other shorts in this vein, at least the gimmick never overshadowed the product. This is one of the first riff shorts I ever saw, and it just still baffles me.
Oh, Once Upon a Honeymoon. Truly you are the stuff that MST3K was made for.
Wait a minute. What the hell was that about anyway?
But first,
Number 2.
a little musical acid trip.
A lot of these shorts are notable for conveying a very narrow range of thought and experience.
Isn't it great there's only white people here?
But this one goes the extra mile in portraying a whole future of white bread blandness. A surprisingly trippy white bread future, but bland nonetheless.
Future may not be available as seen. Personal fates may vary. Future not available in Africa, India, or Central South America.
Yes, this is the future. Or at least, this is the future as they saw it in the great US of A in the 1950s.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
This is a bloated celebration of consumerism. And it's even more bizarre that we have musical guides for this fantasy showroom.
He is a high-maintenance date.
Okay.
And yet, strangely enough, this is probably the short for which I hold the least ire. Sure, watching Tuxedo Mask and Marilyn Monroe here sing about the latest cars and appliances is odd, but most of the shorts featured on the show are painfully cheap looking. This one has a relatively high production value in comparison. You can tell actual time and effort went into it, and I can respect that. More than that, though, this short is timely in a way that absolutely fascinates me. This is not the future, this is the 50s, and it's just a perfect little time capsule.
My cake is ready.
I call no way.
Candles and everything.
It certainly captured the imagination of the Best Brains since they brought its leading lady right into the host segments. She stuck around for the rest of the episode and became one of the most famous cameo appearances on the show.
What would we do in your futuristic world?
Does it really matter?
And yes, that is Mike's wife Bridget playing Nuvina, Woman of the Future. Not the last time the two would play opposite each other in some awkward romantic situation. And I know I'm not the only one who finds it sweet that Mike ultimately chooses his new robotic companions over potential escape.
Well, get back, you robot-loving turd!
It's a sweet moment on the show. And if Design for Dreaming made it possible, then I can't really complain.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm sure there'll be another magical, mystical, singing lady coming along anytime.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That was a close finish.
Number 1.
And the crowd goes wild.
Wait. I'm holding a musical instrument. That can only mean... No! No! No!
Oh my God, please say this isn't happening.
Please, make it stop!
Mr. B Natural was made to advertise Khan's musical instruments to schools, but all it ended up doing is terrifying small children.
If you'll keep me awake, inside there.
Bad touch.
In this short, the Peter Pan-esque Mr. B shows up claiming to be the spirit of music and preys upon the insecurities of a socially awkward middle schooler. The sad thing is, I'm a huge band geek myself, so when this short gets into the whole process of making the instruments, I actually sit up and pay attention. I can't really say that about the other shorts. But I still can't deny how perfectly this one lends itself to riffing.
And don't be too sure I wasn't in the garden with Mr. and Mrs. Adam.
You were the
Why,
snake.
you should know.
Even more than being a great riff, this short had more impact on the show than any other. It was referenced again and again in later episodes.
Knew your father, I did.
You're a happy king! It's a salute to Mr. B Natural.
And Mr. B himself even made a guest appearance in one Turkey Day special, marking yet another instance of Mike and Bridget playing out an awkward romantic scene. If Manos is the most famous feature-length riff in MST history, Mr. B Natural is the most famous short. Its legacy extends well beyond the riff, leaving a lasting impression on the Best Brains and Misties alike. And for that, it is the #1 MST short.
It stinks!
Thank you very much for joining me for this encore presentation of MST Month. Let me know what your favorite short is, and as always, I'm eternally optimistic, and I'll catch you guys next time.
In the not too distant future, next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joel, not too different from you or me. He worked at the Osmanic Institute, just another face in a red jumpsuit. He did a good job cleaning up the place, but his bosses didn't like him, so they shot him into space.
Oh, this... oh my gosh, oh no, okay. Oh, I can do this, I can do this. Oh. this desk is so well constructed. Look at this hardwood. Oh man, okay. Alright. One of those is gonna be good.